several little stories to tell, and maybe there's a little time. Oh, a little opportunity for everyone to be able to share what it is that comes out of these stories for you. So hopefully there'll be enough today. But the first story is just a little story about a mystical joker. And this mystical joker in the Jewish tradition, you've probably heard of him, he's called Hodja.
How?
Hodja. But in the Middle Eastern tradition, he's called Mullah Nasruddin. But we'll call him Mullah Nasruddin today because he wears a turban. Is that all right with you?
Yes.
So, Mullah Nasruddin came home from a very hard day at the coffee shop. And his wife was stirring the pilaf over the fire. And he came in and greeted his wife, and then he said, "Wife, go out and feed the donkey." She said to the mullah, "I've been slaving in this house all day, and I'm now cooking the dinner. You go and feed the donkey." Well, they got into a very severe argument about this, who was going to feed the donkey. So finally, the mullah said, "Well, let's decide it in this way. The first one who speaks has to feed the donkey." So silence reigned in the household. But after some time, Mullah's wife got very bored with this. You know how women are, they like to hear. So she decided to go over and visit the neighbor's house and have a cup of tea while the pilaf was cooking, and left the mullah on his own. So the mullah sat himself down on a chair and he just sat. But after a while, a couple of robbers came to the door. They came into the hall. They saw him sitting there. They walked around him, and he didn't move. He just sat there like stone. So they started to take everything out of the house. They took the furniture, they took the rugs. And then, as a joke, as they were leaving after they'd left the place completely bare, they took his turban too. Well, the night got later, the wife, having tea with the neighbors, had passed the time very nicely, and she realized it was getting very late. And so she sent the neighbor's son over to her house with a bowl of soup for the mullah. Well, when the little boy came in with his bowl of soup, the mullah was sitting there, and he became a little bit animated, and he pointed to the bareness of the place, and then he pointed to his head, and the little boy was trying to work out what it was, and he thought that the mullah wanted this soup on his head, so he went and poured the bowl of soup on the mullah's head. So the little boy obviously went back and told the wife of the mullah the situation that had occurred, and so she came storming back to the house, and of course she said, "What do you mean? How did you allow it?" And of course she abused him roundly. He sat there very proudly, and he said, you see what your stubbornness has wrought? Now go and feed the donkey." And the second story is about a goat herder. He had a flock of goats, and every day he would go out and he would take his goats up to a little hill nearby where there was wonderful grazing for them. So one day he went out and he was up sitting watching the goats as they were fed, and the sun came high in the sky, and it was time for him to have his tea and something to eat. But he realized that his wife had forgotten to give him a little lunchbox. But it so happened that this goat herder was completely deaf. He couldn't hear. But he was very thirsty and he was very hungry by this time. But how could he leave his goats behind while he went down to get his lunchbox? So he noticed that there was a farmer gathering fodder for his farm animals in a field nearby. So he went over to the field and he approached the farmer and he said to the farmer, "But please, would you mind taking care of my goats while I'm away? I have my wife forgot my lunchbox and I have to go down and get it from her because I'm hungry and thirsty." Well, it so happened that the farmer was completely deaf too. And he said, I'm not going to give you any of my fodder. This I've taken me all morning to get all this fodder together. No, no, you cannot have any of my hay for your goats. Well, the goat herder said, oh, thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you for taking care of me. I won't be very long. I'll just go down and get my lunchbox from my wife. So he went down, and when he came into the kitchen, he found that his wife had been quite ill. She had a fever. But one of their neighbors was with her, taking care of her, so she was all right. So he gathered his piece of goat's cheese and his bread and his tea, and he went back up the hill again and counted his goats. They were all there, all safe and sound. So he thought to himself, this farmer has been so kind to me. I've got this little lame goat here. I'll give it to him as a gift for being so kind. So he took the little lame pig and he went over to the farm. He said, oh, thank you very much for taking such good care. I don't know what happened to your goat. I didn't have anything to do with it. I've lived, well, a terrible fight ensued, as you can imagine. They didn't understanding what was going on there. And as they were in the heat of their arguments, along came a rider on a horse. Now, as it happened, he also could not hear. And he saw these two men having this great altercation on their side of the hillside, and he got up, and when they came over to him to try to get him to interfere and intercede in the situation. He said, oh yes, I did steal the horse. Does it belong to you? I'll gladly give it back to you. Well, it went on, the threesome going in between, and there was such back and forth, and waving of hands and all. Well, as it happened, just coming down the road, there was a dervish. You know, one of these dervishes who wear the cloaks, many types. He was a tall, very austere-looking man. But it so happened that this dervish was completely dumb, couldn't speak. So three men approached him because he looked as though he was a knowledgeable man to be able to talk to them. And of course they each told their tale. The goat herd telling, I tried to give him my kid, and then he story went on. And after each of them told their story, the dervish, who of course was not able to reply to him, but this dervish had dark, piercing eyes. So he first went to stand before the goat herd, and he gazed at him steadily. Well, the goat herder thought that the dervish was putting an evil eye on him, so he kind of sidled away and gathered his goats together and went off up down the hill again. And then the dervish gave his attention to the second, the farmer. He too started to squirm, wondering what this dervish was doing to him. And he too very quickly took his pitchfork and sidled off away. And as for the horseman, the same thing happened to him. When the piercing eyes of the dervish gazed at him, the poor horse thief quaked in his boots, and as quickly as he could, he hopped on the horse and rode away. Well, the poor, austere dervish went walking off down the road, and he had a thought. What? He thought, what did the dervish think? Leaving this little story unfinished, what would be the thought of the dervish as he was walking down the road.
What's for lunch? Actually, I'm very interested in your story.
Yes.
How did you become a storyteller? That's the story that's most interesting. Yeah.
I found myself in Hawaii many, many years ago. There I met a Japanese lady who they called the Divine Mother.
What?
They called her the Divine Mother. But she was a very ordinary, there was nothing special about her. In fact, her actual name was But she was very special. I spent 9 years with her. And during those years with her, she had me sitting beside her, telling people who she was. All I had in my repertoire, and I didn't even know it at the time, were stories that I had read years before, mostly of a spiritual nature. And when I was sitting beside her and she nudged me to speak, then somehow the story would come out. And I was with her for all of those years, and then she passed away. I left to go back to Australia. And after that, it seemed that storytelling began. I've been a storyteller ever since.
But it's stories that you made up, or it's stories?
No, I don't make stories up of my own. They're all stories that have been collected over the years. As we do, we read books, and inside there's a little story maybe. And somehow, I don't know how, we all have our different abilities. Those stories would stay and come out. Press the button and something comes out pops a story.
Do you have a favorite story?
Oh, I have several favorite stories. But the favorite story is the one that comes out when you're with a particular person or a group of people. That story is a special story.
You see the people and then you decide what to tell them?
Yes. So the story is very special because that person you're with is the most special. Do you understand? That's the way it is. But what about that dervish?
What a shame I'm dumb. I could have told them that story.
Yes.
The first thing that came to my mind is they all know very well this yeah, they all know, but they still fight for something that they are engaged in struggling because they want to struggle, but deep inside they know there's no need, and they back off when they understand
Yes.
in the mirror of his eyes.
In the mirror of his eyes. Yes.
I didn't understand. They were all deaf, or all deaf. And one of them couldn't see even, or just.
לא, לא,
He
לא.
couldn't hear.
They couldn't hear.
שלושתם לא שמעו, והוא יכל רק, שלושתם לא יכלו, לא שמעו, והוא לא יכל לדבר, הרביעי.
כן. I think he said something along the lines like, I forgot to tell them.
Yes.
Or, I forgot to say.
I forgot to say.
Like that.
Or speaking is such a burden.
Spot on. Yes.
Lucky, I'm so lucky I can speak. That reminds me of something.
Yes.
That somewhere in the desert, I don't know exactly where, there's a village of Bedouin that they are most of them born deaf. Like most of this community are deaf people, and I have a friend that have very good connection with them, and he told me he asked someone in one of these people that's born deaf. He work in a garage, which is very noisy place, and he said that, and he asked him, do you want to hear? Do you want to, because there is this operation that they do for the children, and some of them you can save the listening.
Yes.
And he said, I don't want to be, I don't want to hear. It's too much noise. It's too much mess.
Wow.
I like the quiet. I'm good. And because they are all deaf, so they all speak with their hands, and they don't need.
And they
don't
communicate
need
in
this.
they found another level of communication.
You wouldn't make much of a living in that.
No, they speak very well, like
With the
the hands. It's
hands.
amazing.
yes,
Yeah.
they created a whole.
Yeah, but this language was also created by words. I mean, if there wasn't for the language that we speak, there wasn't being able to communicate, to develop their own
We
language.
would have other levels of language.
I'm not sure. Because you can speak with no words. You understand the body language also.
What's the name of the guy that?
Mula Nasser.
In the Sweden,
לא,
this is
הרביעי שבא,
Daoud.
the one who listened to them and stared at them, the dervish.
Oh, the dervish.
I think I would feel, if I was trying to get into his head after it happened, I would say I would feel maybe a bit of despair and frustration,
Yes.
because to see all those things and how easily people can initiate on each other without, I think it could be very frustrating
Yes, very
to
frustrating.
watch it from the side, and because they wouldn't be so frustrated because they didn't understand what's going on, and the one who sees it from
Exactly.
I think it's very funny. Like if I was instead of him, I would really laugh about
Yes,
it.
yes.
to be
Yes,
the one.
he would be
to
laughing
see
up
the
his
old
sleeve at the, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think to continue with what Daniel was saying, just extracting it a bit at a higher level is just seeing how little conflicts are just come from misunderstanding, and they could be so simple and easy to take care of them if you just would be able to hear or understand what the other's trying to communicate.
Yes, 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 yes.
if you want to be.
But it also says that if he didn't come, if he wasn't coming, then it could not be over. They could have gone forever
They would
because
still be
they had
fighting
no,
here on the side of the road, yes.
until this day, because they had no way to. So I'm not sure if
It's not necessarily over though, because all of them were thinking, I didn't do anything wrong.
I was there.
They
I
did
was
something
right.
wrong.
Something wrong.
So
I
then
was-
every each one of them would go home thinking, I didn't do anything
Yes,
wrong.
they
They did
did.
something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong because he looked at me. Oh, but they did something wrong.
Yes,
Story of our life.
yes.
Yeah, it didn't really solve anything. It just separate, but everyone came home with the same state of mind that he went, like with his story that he made up about the situation,
Yes,
and nothing really solved.
no.
So maybe if they would keep fighting and argument, in the end they would find the solution.
Solution, uh-huh.
Both stories actually were about the stubbornness, that each had a story in their mind what they were holding on to.
Yes, yes. Very seriously.